And I go, and that's why my big breakout co-starring role is of a Hasidic wedding comedian, because that's really what I am deep down. I'm just a dumb jokester.
No, you're not. You're so Jewish, and you love like Judaism, and you love Israel.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize
Here, it's
to me.
okay. It's a safe space.
It's okay. It's okay in front of Michal, and I'm okay with it. Hey everyone, welcome to Wondering Jews with Michal and Noam.
I'm Michal.
And I'm Noam, and this podcast is our way of trying to figure out the Jewish world. We do not have it all figured out, but we're going to try to figure out some big items together. That's what we do.
As we always say, we really love to hear from you. So please email us at wonderingjews@jewishnpacked.com and call us at 833-WON-JEWS.
Today is an awesome show. Today we're going to be wondering together with Elon Gold. Elon is the man. Elon is a comedian, an actor, a writer. He's got Netflix specials, 10 appearances on The Tonight Show, dozens of viral routines. He's been a writer and performer on 10 plus TV shows, most notably my favorite, HBO's Curb Your Enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. And he will be in the upcoming Cal Penn feature, Trust Me, I'm a Doctor. Elon is currently on a theater tour readying his next comedy special. But most importantly for our purposes, and you see this with all the content Elon makes, Elon is someone who is proud of his Jewish identity. I've known Elon for a long time. I was his kid's principal for a while, and much of his content, I got to tell you, it's based around his Jewish pride, his self-confidence as a Jew, Jewish identity, lifestyle, including his latest podcast, his newest piece of work, which is part of the Unpacked story, Stars of David with Elon Gold. Welcome, Elon.
Welcome, Elon. But I still can't get over the fact that, Noam, you said you were Elon's kid's principal?
Yeah. It's so weird.
What's your relationship right now? What's your relationship?
It's good. We loved him. Noam was a great, are you kidding? He was a great administrator, a great teacher, and we loved him.
Elon, you can really say what you think here now. He's not your kid's principal anymore.
My kids hated him. They were so happy when he left. No, everybody loves Noam. He should have his own sitcom with that title. Let me just say this before we start. This podcast, this is going to be the final podcast because you could stop wondering. You don't have to wonder anymore. I have the answer. Are you ready? Right now, I'm going to give you the answer.
So you know the answer? What's the answer? Just tell us the answer.
The answer is they hate us. They always have, and they always will. And all we have to do is Am Yisrael Chayin. We just have to keep on living our lives, being a light unto the nation, doing our traditions, our beautiful customs and rituals. And just what I'm saying is the secret to our Jewish life is to live a Jewish life. And that's why people are like, how do you have all this material about Judaism and all our rituals and our holidays? Like, well, because all I do all day and all night is live a deeply connected Jewish life. And it's thousands of years of beautiful heritage and history.
So the answer is be Jewish. You're saying they hate us, be Jewish, move on.
Move on and not only just be proud, but get into it. You know, there's so many people that are putting tefillin on. And, you know, I put tefillin on every single day, even Shabbos. That's my little joke.
That's an inside joke. That's an inside joke.
Very inside joke because you're not supposed to put it on the Sabbath. But anyway, but I do put it on 6 days a week. And my God, what an amazing way to start the day. You start the day with gratitude. Like literally the first words out of your mouth is Moda'ani. So you wake up.
You say thank you. You guys translate. What do you think this is? Like, is this like your synagogue that you're talking to right now? You got to translate.
I didn't realize that you have non-Jewish fans.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, usually, because my podcast, I'm literally talking like this. We start by saying literally Baruch Hashem, which means thank God. And we end with Good Yontif, just as a joke.
Well, I actually want to back up a little bit, if it's okay.
Okay. Michal, get us on track. We're sorry. I'm sorry.
Can we not let Noam talk for the rest of this pod?
I was going to say, you should. Just kidding.
That's why she has my back. She has my back. You see that?
Yeah. Sorry, Noam's like the chill, fun one. I can't help it. I'm like the intense, serious one. So I actually want to take seriously some of the things you said and try to get us to think about them. You mentioned, Elon, you made a very strong statement. You said they all hate us and we need to live as Jews anyways. And I'm actually curious because when I compare my life to what I've heard about yours, you've been in many spaces where you've worked with Jews and non-Jews, and I imagine I've had strong professional relationships. Do you really believe that everyone hates us?
No, I'm obviously exaggerating.
So what did you mean by that?
I mean that it feels like everyone hates us. You look at Instagram and all you see is videos of people attacking Jews in Amsterdam and people running on the streets of New York attacking kosher restaurants. And it feels that way. And that's what I explain to my children. It's not everyone that hates us. It's such a tiny minority of people that hate us, but they are the loud minority and they're the ones on the streets and they're the ones doing the attacking. You know, I always say that my kids are growing up at a time, ever since October 7th, where this heightened anti-Semitism is visceral. They are feeling it and they're fearful of it. Now, before October 7th of last year, they had no idea that anybody hated us. Yes, they're aware of the history and the pogroms and the Holocaust and all that, but not in this day and age.
What about you? Have you felt it before October, like before
Well,
this past years?
I'll tell you the truth. I am of the generation that felt almost zero anti-Semitism. And that's the interesting thing, how it skipped a generation. My father grew up knowing that his father, who got out of Europe right before the war, his entire family was murdered. Okay, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, a mother and father. So he grew up with just knowing that they killed his father's entire family because they were Jewish. I grew up, okay, and it was so removed. Once you're one generation down, that's so removed that you're just like, oh, really? Did that happen? Oh, my grandfather's family that's just crazy. But that was then, and that's history. A lot of things happened in history. The Crusades, the Inquisition, that's history. Now everything is hunky-dory. Everything is amazing. And I kind of lived my life with that, knowing our history, but knowing that now things are fine. And every now and then, growing up in the Bronx, you know, you'd hear a, hey, Jew bastard. And that to me is like, that's not anti-Semitism. That's like a bully calling you fatso. You don't hate fat people. You're not going to kill a fat person. You're just a bully name calling. That was the only anti-Semitism that I experienced. Now we skip a generation, go to my kids. My kids also grew up like me, just knowing our history, but not feeling anything. Ever since last year, they have a completely new perspective on humanity and the ills of society and how people can just hate you, these beautiful, innocent kids. I have 4 beautiful, amazing, innocent kids. Noam, you know them. Can we use the word perfect?
Yeah, I think so. 100 out of 100.
These are incredible kids. And it's just like for their entire thought process, their entire perspective changed. And now they're living this life where they got, first of all, they're angrier than they never had anger. They're angry at these people who want to kill them and at the people who did, you know, who are constantly attacking us and vilifying and demonizing Israel. They're like, Israel's a bastion of liberalism and freedom, and everything about Israel is just beautiful. Why are they so against Israel? And so it's a cross between they're angry, they're confused, they're baffled, bewildered. What are they against us so much? They don't get it.
From what you said earlier, you're not baffled.
I'm baffled. I'm baffled about everything. We haven't even talked about the beard yet, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I am.
Elon has a beard, if you're listening, which is weird for me because I've watched him on YouTube. There was no beard. Is this a Chabad thing?
No. The beard is for a movie.
She just said you have a scraggly beard, by the way.
By the way, it's so Chabad-y and scraggly that I'm not liking it.
For the record, I love Chabad. They're amazing.
We all love Chabad.
Now, go on.
Let me tell you something.
How many for the records are we going to have to do today, Noam?
I take your love for Chabad and one-up you with it's beyond love for Chabad. And wherever I go, and as a comedian, I go everywhere. I look for 2 things when I land. A Chabad and a cigar lounge. That's all I want in any city that I'm at.
And they're always together.
It's the same place, yeah. No, and so I love Chabad, but I have to admit this beard has gone from sexy to Chabad-y. And not that Chabad is not sexy, but it is for a movie. And I'm doing this movie in Israel. Do you ever see Ushpizin?
Yeah.
Sure.
Great film.
The amazing creators and director and star and writer of
Is this Shuli
Ushpizin
Rand?
is Shuli Rand.
I love Shuli
Wrote
Rand.
another movie with Gidi Dar, the director of Ushpizin. And this is sort of like their big follow-up 20 years later. It's called The Badchan.
The comedian.
It's like a wedding...
the comedian, the joker, the jokester.
Wedding jokester. And in Hasidic communities, especially in New York and in Israel, they really have these Badchanim who come into the wedding and they entertain everyone. And it's so interesting because last night, at the Israel Film Festival at the Saban Theater here in Los Angeles, I introduced Gal Gadot. And I said, usually when you get your big breakout role, it sort of embodies and encapsulates what you are. It represents exactly what and who you are. And that's why Gal Gadot's breakout big role was Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Because that's what she is, a Wonder Woman. And I go, and that's why my big breakout co-starring role is of a Hasidic wedding comedian. Because that's really what I am deep down. I'm just a dumb jokester.
No, you're not. You're so Jewish and you love like Judaism and you love Israel.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize
Here, it's
to me.
okay. It's a safe space.
It's okay. It's okay in front of Michal, and I'm okay with it. But I got to teach a piece of Torah that I think is spot on to what you're saying. I'm sure you've seen this before. It's a piece of Talmud from Ta'anit, from the Talmud. Listen to what it says about you. It says the following. 2 brothers came to the marketplace. Elijah said to Rabbi Baroka, these 2 also have a share in the world to come. Rabbi Baroka went over to the men and said to them, what's your occupation? They said to him, we are jesters, we are badchanim, we're jokesters, and we cheer up the depressed. Alternatively, when we see 2 people who have a quarrel between them, we strive to make peace. It is said that for this behavior, one enjoys the profits of his actions in this world, and yet his reward is not diminished in the world to come. So I love this piece of Talmud, but to me, it tells me the following. Elon, you have a good chance of making it into the world to come.
Not a good chance. I'm going.
You're going straight.
I'm
You're
going
straight. You're going straight.
You don't even. There's that piece of Talmud that I know that says
Are you about to one up
straight.
me on Talmud again?
No, not at all. But there's another reason why I'm going straight up there, because they also say that if you set up 3 couples, 3 shidduchim, they call it, for marriage, then you're going straight to heaven. I'm in there. I set up 3.
Are they still together?
That's not important now. The important thing is...
Because that might actually matter.
I think 2 of them are together. Yeah, when you get up there, God goes, hey, a couple of them split, so this isn't happening. Go back down there. But I'm a comedian too, God. Let me in. No, I think God loves me.
Elon, what's your funniest joke?
I love all my jokes like I love all my kids. I love all my good bits, and people say, oh, Christmas tree is my favorite bit of yours. And they always talk about
I'm playing Christmas tree. I'm playing the bit right now. Here we go. Listen to this.
I actually like Christmas. I love the music, the lights, the decorations. I love going to my friend's house. He has a beautiful Christmas tree, but I do not have Christmas tree envy. I don't. Who wants to schlep a tree from the woods or even a store and tie it to the roof of your car and bring it into the house with the schmutz? I don't need that. I don't care how beautiful a tree looks. But here's the main reason why I'm so happy that Christmas trees aren't part of our traditions and our holidays. If it were, there would be 1,000 rules and regulations regarding the tree. There would be a tractate of Talmud, Masechet HaEtz, and it would just be chapters and chapters of rabbis arguing about how you shecht the tree, where to shecht it, when to shecht it, if it has a blemish, can you even shecht it at all? What kind of tree must it be? Well, it cannot bear fruit because that would be destroying future food, but it must emit sap. You have to see a droplet of sap, a kazayit of sap, because to show it's a living tree, you can't cut down a tree that's already dead. You got to kill it yourself in the most humane way possible.
And that's the kind of bit that I love, and it took a year to write because there's so many, and it's a 4-minute bit, and there's so many jokes in it, and it was seen by millions of people around the world. And I'm so proud of that because it actually inspires people to learn Talmud, to know more about what are all these, because what I do in my comedy when it comes to the Jewish act, because I have a secular act and a Jewish act, is I don't make fun. When you make fun of something, you're making fun as an outsider and you're just going, that sucks and that's stupid. but I poke fun. And when you poke fun, it's from the inside. You're poking and you're just going, yes, we do all this. And it comes from a place of love. We do all these crazy rituals. We have all these crazy laws and rabbis arguing about such minutia that it's a little nuts, a little OCD. But I love it all and I observe it all. And now I'm going to poke fun a little bit about how, silly it could seem to especially the outside world.
You just said you love it, you observe it. I'm just curious, what does, if I can ask, because you make jokes about this, what does your observance look like?
It's all about Shabbos and kosher. So Shabbos to me is everything. Our whole week is around Shabbos. Like we just look forward to it. It's the best time. The phones are off for 25 hours. It's the only day I don't have something in my pocket beeping and calling me and bothering me. It's the only day where we connect by disconnecting with family, community, friends. We always have people over. Last Friday night, our Shabbat dinner, we always invite these really cool people. We had Hillel Neuer, who is the head of UN Watch. He's an incredible guy. Elika Laban. Do you know Elika? She's not even Jewish. She's a Persian woman. I call her eloquent because she is speaking out for the Iranian people, for the Israeli people, for Western civilization more eloquently than anyone on earth. And Stephanie Younger, this great comedian, Stefachka, you could look her up on Instagram. So when we have these Shabbat dinners, it's the highlight of my week. And I look forward to it all week because the week is full of stress and just, fixing problems and issues or running around and traveling and hustling. And then you just hit pause on the world and you just get to really take in and connect with your, soul more than your body. Your whole week, you're exercising, you're running around. There's so much to do during the week, and it's this one beautiful day. So to me, Shabbos is everything.
That's beautiful.
Do you know the saying? The Jewish people don't keep the Shabbos.
I'm going to one up
the
you.
Jewish people.
No, I'm one upping you now. More than the Jews have kept Shabbat. Shabbat has kept the Jews. Said by Asher Ginsburg, aka Achad Ha'am.
Yeah,
I agree.
Elon, what made you fall in love with Judaism? Because people usually use those words. They have some strong experiences.
I don't know. I think I'm really just connected on a deep level that I can't comprehend or express in words.
Did you grow up with that at home?
I grew up with it at home, but that's not why I connected, because both my brothers totally went the other way and are totally disconnected. So I think I just really felt, and especially, as a young guy, I fell in love with my now wife of 30 years as a 16-year-old. She was a high school sweetheart.
Wow.
And so we got married at 23 and, had kids and everything. And I just I knew deep down that Judaism was going to help me be a better husband and father, have a better, more enriched family and life. I knew that, keeping these traditions and customs alive was so important. And I love it.
Were you ever tempted to follow the other path that you mentioned?
Tempted? Are you kidding? Every time I see a bacon double cheeseburger, I'm tempted to bite into that.
No, I don't mean it like that. Like you mentioned, you come from a family, people took different paths, and you took a path that sounds like has a really steadfast core commitment. And I'm curious if I'm not talking about a moment of like, do I take a bite of that cheeseburger? I'm saying, I'm curious with your work and your experiences, did you have moments in which you had a path in the road and you could decide, I continue with this or I go a different direction?
I never had a real crisis of faith. I doubt God's existence every now and then, like on days like October 7th. I just say, how, God, how do you exist and let this happen to your people? But then I always come back to the truth, which is, of course, God exists and God gives man free will to choose good and evil.
Elon, to what extent do you believe everything you're saying right now? Meaning, do you really feel everything that you're saying right now? And do you feel like you're like, I'm this cool comedian guy with a scraggly beard, cool hair, on Curb with Larry David. Do you feel like I'm a spokesman for the Jewish people and I have this platform, so I'm going to say all these lovey Jewish things. Is that what's going on here?
How much more honest do you want me to be? If I was putting on a front, I would say, God is everything and God loves us all and God. No, I'm saying sometimes I go, God, what the hell is wrong with you? Why would you let October 7th happen? Okay.
Right.
And that is not something that a spokesman for religious Judaism would say, but it is something that I've learned. You're allowed to doubt God's existence as long as you stay and keep up the mitzvot and stay connected to Judaism. You'll always realize the truth and you'll always come back to the truth, which is, of course, God exists. But how can you not, when you look at the Holocaust, when you look at October 7th, how could you not go, where is God? Of course you doubt that. And that is my truthful answer. My fake, phony Jewish spokesperson answer is, God is the best.
By the way, Michal has an amazing Substack called Committed that you got to check out. I'll let Michal describe what it is. It's awesome.
I write a weekly essay, a newsletter that looks at the parasha of the week, the Torah portion, and that tries to read it again, asking what it means to be a Jew in this world, especially with this last year. And what was the connection, Noam? Besides for saying that it's a great stuff,
you explore. No, you explore. You explore and you give an insight each week.
Are you saying that we're not all spokespeople that feel like we know everything?
Yeah, there's exploration and there's insights, and it's awesome. And that's and that's what's going on there. But can I just tell you my funniest joke of all time, Elon?
Wait, I want to hear this, but I just want to say something. I know nothing. All I know is that we're in a moment where you have to stand up for your people, okay? You know, my litmus test to someone's morality and someone's ethics. By the way, people should use this at job interviews. People should use this on dates. It's one question, and it goes like this. What's your stance on Israel? Okay? Now, if you're anti-Israel, there's something deeply wrong with you. Okay? I don't mean anti-Israeli government. I don't mean all that. I mean, if you're anti the one and only Jewish state that stands up for all things that are liberal, that, promotes everything from women's rights, gay rights, it is everything that is liberal. And if you're anti that, then there's something wrong with you. That's the only issue. You take any other issue, take guns. Well, I'm anti-guns. Well, of course you're anti-guns. Guns kill people. But also if you're pro-guns, of course you're pro-guns. You have to protect your home, and some invader comes in, you got to protect your kids and your wife and whoever. It's the same with abortion. Like, it makes me sick to my stomach that a state or a government, a federal government, would dictate and tell a woman what to do with her body. Sick to my stomach. But also I see the pro-life side. Well, yeah, you're killing babies. So every other issue, you can see both sides. You can see the argument. With anti-Israel, if you're anti-Israel and you want Israel to be gone from the river to the sea, you're immoral, you're unethical. So to me, that's my litmus test. So yeah, that's why as a spokesman, I'm always talking about Israel in a positive way, because Israel represents all the good things that humanity deserves, which is multiculturalism, pluralism, equality, freedom. All that stuff is right there in Israel. And if you're anti that, then you're messed up in the head.
Elon, let me ask you a question. I'm not going to let Noam respond because he's Mr. Nuance with Israel, and so he will just go. But I'll ask you a different question. So I find that it's really interesting because there's a whole lot of institutions and formal leaders who have titles in the Jewish community and are trying to teach and educate and shape. And then there's all this other ecosystem of people like you who don't have a quote unquote formal job in the Jewish organizational ecosystem and end up speaking to hundreds of thousands and millions of people, and often do so from a place of feeling, you said, as a spokesperson and being seen as such. So I guess my question is, from where you're sitting, what would be advice that you would give leaders in the institutional Jewish community that you don't think, and I'll count myself, and I'm going to include you there, but things that from what you're seeing, you don't think we understand well enough about this moment?
I'm not blaming Jewish leaders on anything. It's something that, again, it begins in the home and then the schools. Look what Noam represented this school, Shalhevet. It's such a beautiful place of, it's a Jewish religious school, but it has a gay club. Like, what a beautiful thing where the gay students can feel included. It has, it's full of Zionism and Jewish pride. There's no answer to what leaders can do, but it's schools and shuls and families and organizations just have to continue to be proud and to live their Jewish lives to the fullest. But I don't have an answer to anything. But the real way that I express myself is in jokes. And with jokes, people don't realize they're getting a message. They don't get that I'm educating them on something that I believe is truth and is right. They're laughing so hard, they're having a good time. They don't realize, but it's seeping into their psyche that, now I get what his point is. I went on the Tonight Show and I did a Hamas hummus bit 15 years ago. And the message was that Hamas is evil and people don't realize the level of evil that Israel has to deal with. Or when I did my special and I said, there's a difference between Israelis and Jews. And it's just a joke because Israelis are Jews. But I say that and then I say, yeah, of course, Israel is the 3,000-year-old homeland of our people. But there's a difference between Israelis and Jews. Just having that one sentence in there as a setup to the bit, and then the bit goes on with jokes, is so important because then people are going, oh, wait, what? It is 3,000-year-old ancestral indigenous homeland of the Jewish people? I didn't know that. And they're learning something, and then they're laughing, and then they forget that they learned something, but they learned it. By the way, speaking of jokes, what was this joke you had for us, Noah?
Okay, here's the joke very quickly. So you know Iris Barr?
Yes. She's playing my wife in this movie.
Okay, so tell her, so she'll hear this then. Okay. Iris Barr and I were on an email thread. Iris Barr is famous for the scene in Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it's about to be sunset, and she tells Larry she has to jump off the ski, what's it called? The
ski lift.
Ski lift. She jumps off the ski lift. So Iris, in the show, she has to jump off the ski lift before Shkia, okay?
It's been 15 minutes already.
What's going on?
Shkia Sachama. That's what's going on here.
What?
Shkia Sachama. Sundown. I can't be here alone with you after sundown.
Fast forward 10 years. I'm on an email thread with Iris, and she said, when should we meet? I said, I don't know, but we have to meet before Shkia.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
But here, can I tell you the worst part, Elon?
Yeah.
We met. I was like, wait, did you like my joke? It was my best joke of my life. That was it. I don't have any other better jokes than that. That's it. She goes to me, ready for this? What joke?
She didn't pick up her own classic.
She said, I thought you just had to go before, because it was Shabbat, and I thought you had to go before. I'm like,
she took it
oh my
serious.
God, I had my best joke ever. I don't have any. That's all I have in the arsenal. I got nothing left. That's it. That's all I got.
Well, if that is your best joke, let me just say, the state of humor in your life
hands. It's in your hands, Elon.
At optimal level. I just want to say, well, that is a good reference to a joke. It's not in and of itself an actual joke.
It's not even a joke.
It's not. It's a reference to a joke. But it's funny because you're referencing something hilarious, so I laugh. But yet, do I give you points for writing?
1 out of 10. 1 out of 10, what would you give it?
A 4.
A 4. My best joke is a 4. Okay.
Hey, can we talk about so she is playing my wife, and this movie, The Bodcon, I'm very excited. I'll be spending a month in Israel filming that. I also am very excited about this podcast. I'm doing a podcast.
Tell us about Stars of David.
Okay, so Stars of David, to me, the name crystallized everything.
Brought to you by Unpacked, a division of OpenDor Media.
Yes.
Continue.
Full disclosure, yes, we are all in the same team here. We're all run by big media companies. Imagine if Unpacked was like known as a giant media.
We're getting there, Elon.
We're getting there, folks.
Slow down, Tiger.
We are getting there. Well, I think to me, the idea of Stars of David crystallized just the fact that I can now illuminate all these great Jewish stars. And that's why we had, warriors on like Shai Davidai and Montana Tucker and then comedians too, like Howie Mandel, also proud of their Jewish heritage and Steph and Brett Gelman and Emmanuel Shrieky literally was in the Zohan movie, and what I love about this, because I don't like, here's the truth. I don't like podcasts.
Elon, dude, podcasts are the number one influencer in the world right now. Scott Galloway talked about how basically the podcast got Donald Trump elected. So
yeah, there's nothing bigger.
don't understand.
I'm not minimizing.
It's a major platform if done well.
You know what else is gigantic? Streaming, like shows like Game of Thrones and all these huge. I don't have time to listen or watch anything. Like, that's the thing. And it's not like I'm saying podcasts suck. This podcast is the greatest podcast ever.
Top 5 of all time.
Yeah, The Sopranos is the greatest drama ever written, directed, and acted. I still haven't seen it. I have 4 kids and I'm running around and I'm always writing and working on projects and doing things. I just don't have the time. If I have a commute, I'm going over jokes in my head.
Is this a commercial for podcasts or a commercial to never listen to podcasts? What are you saying?
And don't listen to my podcast either. Do something with your life.
But this is great. Do not listen to Stars of David.
Don't listen to Stars of David. Do something productive with your life. Take up a hobby, learn piano, go running, and then listen to music. These podcasts and these TV shows is Narishkeit. It's shtus. It's Batelsman.
Hey, Batelsman. No one knows what that means.
It's a waste of time.
A waste of time. We agree on that one. There you go.
I'm still working on Narishkeit.
Narishkeit, yeah.
My point is, while I was very reluctant to do a podcast, I couldn't be happier with this. And I really do hope that people take the time to listen, because it is both funny and informative. It really does get dead serious. With every single one of my guests, Howie Mandel's the biggest goofball on earth. He got dead serious when talking about the Nova exhibit, when talking about October 7th. So that to me was just inspiring, hearing this big global star like that just express his Judaism with such pride and such anguish for the future of our people, and how society is just crumbling, allowing this anti-Semitism to rear its ugly head in the most public way that's like just acceptable. It's just insane what's happening. So I am excited about my podcast. I do love your podcast, but I just don't listen to it.
That's really, really very affirming. But let me ask you my last question for you, Elon. There's been all this really interesting data telling us that there's huge numbers of Jews who have been kind of like reawakening, becoming more interested in their Judaism in Israel in the last year. I'm curious if you can share with us, from all of your comedy bits and your travels, one moment maybe that moved you of encountering this.
I think performing for soldiers, when I did a show in Israel for soldiers, and in the middle of the show, I just stopped and I said, I just want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for saving our people. And the commander of the unit got up and said, rega, wait, because that's what Israelis do. They take a Hebrew word and say it 8 times, and then it's English translation 15 more times. So it was like, no. No. So he did that. He got up, he went, rega, wait. And I said, what? And he goes, we are not saving our people. We are saving all people. All people. And I just went, whoa, I mean, I knew that, but what a beautiful thing to see this IDF genocider, that they'll call him, this IDF commander saying, we are trying to save the Palestinian people from Hamas. We are trying to free Iran from the regime, free Lebanon from Hezbollah. The world doesn't get it. We're not trying to gain territory. We're not even doing things for our people, our Jewish people exclusively. We are doing things for the free world to save Western civilization, to prop up a society that loves its gays and props up its women. And this is what the IDF is fighting for. And to hear that from a commander, he didn't go, we just want to kill all the Arabs. That's what they think. What they think is, no, we want to save these Gazans. We want to save all people from evil. And that to me was like, so nice to hear it from the guy who's on the front lines and doing it and actually risking his life to do that for the rest of the world.
Elon, amazing having you on this pod.
Thank you.
You are a funny guy. You are a guy that stands for a love for Judaism, a love for Zionism, a love for the Jewish people, a love for all people, as you described earlier. And everyone should make sure not to tune in to his podcast, Stars
Please
of David.
Don't. Do something productive.
Okay, with Stars of David with Elon Gold, which is brought to you by our team, by Unpacked. And so it's awesome. It's going to be fun. It's going to be ridiculous.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I'll just say, Elon, it's been really nice to meet you. We definitely have very different personalities. But I'll just,
No.
but what I want to say right now is a part of what's been really important to me this last year is like, I think we all have our differences, but right now, I don't know you that well, but I think our heart is in the same place, and we love our people, and we love Israel, and we see terrible things happening, and we want to speak up. And I'm really grateful to you for using your platform and your voice to do that.
Thank you. And I'm grateful to both of you. Keep up the good work. Don't ever end this podcast, and keep going and keep inspiring and educating people. Thank you, guys.
Neil, thanks so much for joining.
Wandering Jews is a production of Unpacked, a division of OpenDor Media. Subscribe to Wandering Jews wherever you're listening to this pod, and follow Unpacked at all the social media places. Just look for @JewishUnpacked. And most of all, be in touch. Write to us at wonderingjews@jewishunpacked.com. This episode was hosted by Michal Biton and Noam Weissman. This show is researched by Hona Dodge. Audio is edited by me, Rob Pera, and we're produced by Rivki Stern.